Right, let's look at some of the quite early games of chess. These are from most of the comments are from the Tartakover's book 500 Master Games of Chess. And here he goes to year 1839, way back. White is Bledow, Ludwig Hermann Bledow, and black's Bledow-von Der Lasa. And we get e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, and bishop c4. The Italian game, or Giuoco Piano. Here he first notes in the beginning that Morphy's great principles, the formation of a pawn center, the most rapid development, the opening of lines for attack, and deadly effect of an advanced pawn are all already evident in the following old-time game. Let's see how we get there. Well, here, number one, we try to establish a big pawn center with c3, d4. And here, nowadays, I think knight f6 is the almost always played here. But this move still is the second most played move. The queen e7. Overprotecting the e5. And sidestepping from the d5 sometimes. But the main point is that after d4, you can just drop back the bishop. And we have the e5 covered twice. And it is attacked twice too. So black wants to hold on to a center pawn. If black would have taken here, white would have not recaptured, but probably castled. And now both captures, well, this would have led to a kind of a pickle, and the other capture, the pawn here, would just bring another piece into attack. Already looking at d5 and the queen and the c7 square. For a cost of a pawn. So black keeps his center, drops the bishop back. White just castles, and black opens up to another bishop, reinforces the center squares, or the e5. Alright, white plays a4, gaining space on the queen side, also with the nasty threats, like if black would play some kind of a non-move, let's say h6, ignore it. But that's the white's threat, a5, and now if you take with the bishop, we can take with the rook. And we have this fork here. You can still come here and block it, but there is the d5. And you can also note that counter fork b5 is not gonna work because the a pawn is pinned. A rook's undefended, we can just take it. Now the way around doesn't change anything else. Another fork here, c6. But there's no fork, we move the queen. So black deals with that, just a5. And white plays bishop e3. a5 did one thing though. It removed one defender of the bishop here. And that comes relevant soon. When black plays knight f6, white takes on e5. And suddenly this diagonal opens up. And here, of course, you cannot really take here because we take here in between, hitting the queen. So here, black recaptures and white captures once. Again, the in-betweeners run into knight f6. Knight takes f7. Not gonna work out. So black just retakes and white gets to take on b6. And kind of wrecking the pawn structure of blacks. Alright, white just goes on developing. And black gets the king into safety. Queen e2, connecting the rooks. Not obvious what we're doing yet. Another option would have been bishop e6 here. But this hits the pawn, and maybe we're coming here to look at that another one. Seems like a pretty okay looking square for the bishop. And here white plays rook a d1. We put the rook on an open file, saying that you can take the a4 pawn. And that's what happened in the game. Of course, commentary doesn't really think this is worth it. But the engine says that, yeah, just take the pawn and black's much better here. And then put the bishop on c6. And f4. Looks very aggressive, but objectively white is not really, like the attack is not looking really that dangerous at all. Knight's nowhere close to being useful. Queen's not really, I mean, maybe it can swing somewhere, but it does not look that great. But if it works, it works. Black brings the rook to an open file too, and white takes on f5. F takes e5, sorry. And queen takes it. And now his point is that he hits the queen. Here, De Lasa went queen d6. Looking at this tension earlier, but just doesn't care at all. Just wants to pick another pawn up and says that white's attack is a bluff. For instance, something like e5. And just check king h1 and knight e4. And there's a devastating pin on the d file, and knight might be coming to f2, but mostly the d2 knight is gonna die. Or something behind it. Anyways, this is also perfectly fine for black. Fork. But it's no big deal. We have a check in hand. Get out of the fork. It's starting to look like something. King h1. And now black made a boo-boo. Knight e4. Here, for instance, pinning the pawn was alright. I think the engine's move b5 is the best. You notice that you can't really take here because of the pin. The e-pawn. For instance, defending the rook. Black just moves the knight away. Bishop takes, queen takes. Hitting the knight. Knight sidestep that. And queen just Black just takes another pawn. Okay, here it starts to look a little dangerous, but computer just shows that it doesn't care at all. Okay, there is a somehow a really crazy point f7. Hit and attacked. Hit and attacked and defended by everybody basically on the board. But it's just enough. Black's up few pawns. Passers here. I think the best it can come up with here is something like bailing out to grabbing a pawn there and hoping to grab another one, but completely hopeless. Tartakova in his book notes some few moves like knight d5 and knight d7, which are not that great moves for black. The pin would have still kept black's advantage, but the knight d4 does blunder away the game. Knight takes e4. Black probably calculated wrongly here. Rook takes d1. Queen has to take, and bishop takes the knight back. And now you can pause and find the killing blow. It's a little deeper than them. There's a basic mating pattern, but you can see the defense. But if you look even deeper, there's a finish. Anyways, I'm gonna show it now. Rook takes f7. So this is the typical mating pattern if there was no, like this is a mate, if there was no block. Here maybe black missed that or thought this is gonna save him. White just takes on f7. Then he has e6. Basically, either you give up the queen or you go back to g8. And then there is the now beautiful finish, e7. And then there is no checkmate because your queen is pinned. Your bishop can't help anywhere because you are trying to take here with somebody. Maybe a under promotion to rook would be a nice finish. That was quite a fancy finish. I have to sometimes question the analysis in the old books, but I don't know. They are what they are. They are sometimes probably are a little bit result oriented than in the point of view of the winner. But here, for instance, black was definitely holding his own and much more. Anyways, thanks for watching. Until next time. Bye.